Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask, Heidi. It's Thursday, the 18th day of January. Today is Museum Selfie Day. So you're supposed to take a photo of yourself at a museum.
Alrighty.
Just be careful. How awful would it be if you broke something priceless messing around doing that? Look at this. I was in the Museum
How
of Fine
dangerous
China.
are you going to be taking a selfie?
National Gourmet Coffee Day, National Maintenance Day, National Peking Duck Day. So that's for ducks that like to peek, not stare.
Apparently.
National Thesaurus Day. I wonder if there's another word for that. You think? No? National Winnie the Pooh Day, and it is, it says Weedless Wednesday, but I'll bet that's not today. That was probably yesterday because it's Thursday. So I doubt that it's that. But it is a Dear John letter day since it's a Thursday. And we've got a young lady who is renting a place from her parents, and she had right in the lease that her boyfriend couldn't come over because he was a drunk at the time.
Okay.
And now he's been in recovery for a while, and they still won't let him come over. So she's got some questions that if you'd like to, you can answer maybe at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
Give yourself a little credit.
I've been telling you about BetterCreditCards.com for a few years now. I'd love for you to take a few minutes today to check out the website. Who knows? You might find a better credit card, one that offers a better rate, or a credit card that offers cash back, airline miles, or other points and perks that can help you. Check it out now.
Give yourself a little credit. Go ahead and switch to BetterCreditCards.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. Companies have tried just about everything in their effort to lure work-from-home employees back to the office, but this just might do it. Withholding promotions. New stats show that fully remote workers are being promoted 31% less than their in-person peers. I understand that.
I get that too.
Alive Data Technologies analysts of 2 million analysis of 2 million white-collar workers found 5.6% of the employees who were going into the office at least part of the time received a promotion last year compared to 39% of fully remote workers. In addition, 90% of CEOs surveyed said they'd be more likely to give in-person employees raises, promotions, and better assignments. Studies regarding whether employees are more or less productive at home have gone both ways, but we do know this. Fully remote workers are a lot happier and more likely to stick with their jobs. Fully half of the on-site employees plan to job hunt this year compared to only a third of those who are happy working at home. Here's my question. Why not just let them work from home? If they're getting their job done, if it's all working out, I don't know why it matters. All right, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
Insurance. It's important to have insurance, but it's more important to have the right insurance. After all, if you're not covered, it's like not even having insurance. Make sure you're covered for whatever claim might come your way with InsuranceChicken.com, helping you peck out great insurance deals in your area. You need insurance on your car anyway. Why not get great rates for great insurance from InsuranceChicken.com? That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Did you know? Brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. Heidi, did you know that some junior hockey players in Ontario are causing a bit of a stir for their preferred sports drink? Glass jars of Bics sliced pickles and full-size bottles of French's Classic Yellow Mustard spotted along the sidelines. The salty, vinegary condiments are said to help with leg muscle cramps.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
I've seen that before. 20-year-old players are the ones using them. Former teammate Oliver Peer swears by the repercussive powers of pickle juice, claiming that he goes through 2 jars each game. He drinks all the juice and even chomps on a few pickles on the bench. So they've been pouring mustard down the gullet of another player for about 4 years now. Says that it's even become a superstition for him and others that if they don't do their pickles and mustard, they're not going to win.
It works on a lot of things. We use pickle juice for upset stomachs.
Yeah, like if I eat, and I haven't had that in a while because we've been doing a lot better on eating better stuff. But before I would eat something that wasn't really sitting right, and then I'm trying to go to sleep and my tummy's not feeling good. I drink a little pickle juice and boom, good.
Yep.
So I don't know, the magic of pickle juice. We don't know everything.
I love it. It's
but
fantastic.
Now we know this.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. A new Top Gun movie is in the works. feels like this story is a few years old, but no, there's another new one.
Another one, really?
Yeah. Top Gun Maverick did so well.
Well, I was going to say they'd be silly not to. It made a lot of money.
Yeah, so they're working on another one. It grossed about $1.5 billion worldwide. At a certain point, it's not going to be believable that he's still flying.
And at a certain point, they're going to wear it out. Just like the reason it did so well is because it's like, oh my gosh, that's exciting. But if they're going to wear it out, it's not going to do as well.
No, I agree completely. And Hulk Hogan became a real-life superhero over the weekend. How did I not see this online? He jumped to the rescue of a 17-year-old female driver who was involved in a horrific car accident.
Aww.
So Hulk Hogan, the professional wrestler, happened to be there when a car caused another car to flip over. Hogan and his Marine friend stopped and rushed to render aid to the driver and helped her out of a car after popping the airbag. All of this before the paramedics could even get to the scene. She is apparently rattled, but okay.
Holy cow, that would be cool to be able to say, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Hulk Hogan saved my life this weekend. All right. Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com.
What could you do with an extra $129 a month? In this economy, every penny counts. So an extra $129 each month would absolutely help. Well, 97% of us have a cell phone, and the average person pays $144 a month. Mint Mobile can help you save a mint. At just $15 a month, that's an average savings of $129 each month. It's time for a Mintervention. Switch and save today. Get this special offer at Mintervention.com. That's Mintervention.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. Interesting question. Is it possible to eat your way out of the winter blues?
We've certainly tried.
If you're feeling listless these days, take a look at what's on your plate. According to Dr. Robert Leviathan, Chair of Depression Studies at University of Toronto, says one of the main problems is the amount of sugar and fat that we crave. He points out that this could be related to seasonal affective disorder, since there is a relationship between the lack of light and craving carbohydrates.
Yeah.
So what should we do? For one, he says, make sure you're getting enough lean protein throughout the day, because that helps you feel full and helps you avoid a sugar crash. These days, a lot of research is being done about Mediterranean diet, because it keeps winning every year about like the best diet. And that is where you have a lot of fruits and veggies, unprocessed cereals, legumes, and olive oil. They feel that could be as good for your mental health as it is for your body, is what they're saying. So that's cool. And scientists said this week that a new simple blood test could identify 18 early stages of cancer, and it could be a medical game changer. Early detection is the key to driving down death rates for cancer, which kills around 1 in 6 people globally. New study says the test identified, get this number, 93%.
Wow.
Of stage 1 cancers in men, 84% in women. The test maker, Novelna, said it represents a major leap in cancer screening, and the findings pave the way for a cost-effective, highly accurate multi-cancer screening test that could be implemented on a population-wide scale. Existing blood tests can detect cancer, but often only one type, and it's been very limited in reliability. So this new test, again, can test, it's been identified 93% of stage 1 cancers in men and 84% in women. It's unbelievably amazing. So I'm glad they're working on that. Scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf.
800-310-5831. 800-310-5831. That's 800-310-5831.
And it's time right now for Dear John Letters. All right, I've got a nice Dear John letter here. And one of the things that I will say is you can chime in with your advice, but I think the advice is going to go both ways on this, because I could see very easily both sides of this argument. But I'll read it to you, and here we go. Dear John, my boyfriend is a recovering alcoholic. He's been through some tough times, and he's been through rehab, and I have stuck with him. This last 6 months have been great. He is out of rehab, he's sober and has a great job, and he feels great. Now, here's the problem. I signed a lease for a small property that's owned by my parents. I've been there for a couple years, and I pay rent, and I pay all the utilities, and I function like a legal renter. They don't quite charge me as much as they would somebody else, but it's not free either. When I signed the lease, they added a clause about my boyfriend. He was not in a good place at the time. It was before rehab. They insisted that he would not be permitted on the premises. I think they did this because they were trying to protect me, and I couldn't really argue with him at the time. I asked what would happen when and if he got sober, and they said, well, we can reconsider it and talk about it then. Well, now he is. He's better. And they still won't let him be in the apartment, even just to hang out. I don't think they're being fair since he's changing his life, and they won't give him a break. So my question is this. If your parents are your landlords and they own the property, but you pay rent, should they even be allowed to tell you who can and can't come over as a guest? Is this even legal? What should I do? Signed, disappointed daughter. Now, first of all, I cannot give legal advice because I don't know if you know this. I'm not an attorney. I know I might sound very legalistic.
You sound all put together.
I'm always putting words together one after another and making it sound smart and stuff. But no, I'm not an attorney. So I don't know if it's legal. But here's what I would say. Being a parent, I can say I think your parents were looking out for you.
Absolutely.
But they probably don't know your boyfriend as well as you do. So you've seen this transformation. You've seen this amazing transformation. And I got to tell you, I'm very proud.
Being a parent myself, she wants to believe that she's seen him make a transformation.
Can we get to that in a second? I just want to say I'm very proud of him for going through rehab, and I'm very proud of him for getting his life on track, as long as that's what really happened. You got to understand something. There are times, and I'm not saying your boyfriend is doing this because I'm hoping he's not, but there are times people go through, they get the rehab, they get the help, and they put on a really good show for a while for some people, and then there's other people who don't necessarily see that show. They see right through it. Maybe that's what's going on. Mm-hmm. I think what you should do is have a conversation with your mom and dad and find out, is there something you know that I don't know?
Right.
You know, if they see him at bars, if they see him drinking, and there's, you know, you're saying, no, he doesn't do that anymore. And they're like, okay, but we see this happen. He's doing this. He's not telling you about it. He's being dishonest. Maybe that's what's going on. So before you just jump to the conclusion that your mom and dad are horrible people, I don't know that that's necessarily the case. Who knows? Maybe it is, but, you know, are they horrible on everything else? Kind of sounds like they're giving you a nice, affordable place to live.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if that's not what's going on, if, you know, you do think they're just being, you know, for whatever reason, mean towards this guy, there's nothing saying you can't move. I don't know how long your lease is, but
I'm sure your parents will let you out of your lease if you want to move out. I certainly wouldn't bring lawyers into the fold.
Yeah, and it's again where it's asking if it's legal. I don't know. Who knows? But and maybe somebody that is an attorney could chime in on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Jon and Heidi Show. I don't know how that works. I don't know if that's a local thing, if it would be depending on where you live. I have no idea because I don't have all those details in this letter either. But you were saying something, and I interrupted you because I wanted to finish my thought. What were you saying, Heidi?
I just, as a mother, a lot of times you do see things that your kids don't see. Yeah. Because, you know, we've been around the block a few times. We kind of know what's coming. And you do try to shelter your kids from that stuff.
And it's because you love them. It's out of a place of love. You want them to have a better life than you had. We all want our kids to have a better life than we had. And they want for you to not go through the pain of, you know, struggling with somebody that has an addiction issue. And if you're saying he's been good for 6 months and things are amazing, I don't know if you're hanging out at his house. I don't know how much time you guys are spending together. If he's not allowed to be anywhere near you at your place, you know, there's probably some time that you're not together. So again, I would find out, what do you know that I don't know? Yeah. Because maybe there's something they know. Or, again, they're just being super cautious. If you would like to, you can chime in at facebook.com/Jon and Heidi Show.
Give yourself a little credit.
I've been telling you about bettercreditcards.com for a few years now. I'd love for you to take a few minutes today to check out the website. Who knows? You might find a better credit card, one that offers a better rate, or a credit card that offers cash back, airline miles, or other points and perks that can help you. Check it out now.
Give yourself a little credit. Go ahead and switch to bettercreditcards.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Cans of diet soda float, but cans of regular soda sink. I knew that. You know how I knew that?
I don't.
I saw it in a cooler.
Ah.
I noticed it. I was like, look at that. because like the ice had melted and it was water. I'm like, all this stuff with sugar is sinking. The stuff without is floating. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Monkeys floss their teeth.
Really?
I don't know what they're using because I don't think they have floss. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
If you were to drive a car at 100 kilometers an hour, 24 hours a day, you would reach the sun in about 3 years.
Well, isn't that nice?
Yeah.
I don't think you'd want to.
Got to slow down for gas. Might have to use the bathroom. All right, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Men get hiccups more often than women.
Really?
I wonder why that is. I remember one day we were trying to do this program and I couldn't get rid of the hiccups. And we were trying to do our breaks between me doing it was horrible. Horrible. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The most common PIN number is what? What do you think?
1, 2, 3, 4?
No, for some reason, 8068. I don't know why. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Anteaters prefer termites to ants.
Really?
Several fun facts. Now you know. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Insurance. It's important to have insurance, but it's more important to have the right insurance. After all, if you're not covered, it's like not even having insurance. Make sure you're covered for whatever claim might come your way with InsuranceChicken.com, helping you peck out great insurance deals in your area. You need insurance on your car anyway. Why not get great rates for great insurance from InsuranceChicken.com? That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Time now for the Mint Mobile question of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of Mintervention.com. Question for you, Heidi. 13% of couples who sleep in separate bedrooms do this because of this reason. What is it?
Snoring.
No. I would have thought that as well, but only 13%. So maybe it's a bigger percentage for the snoring.
Okay.
13% sleep in separate rooms because one of them likes to steal the covers, Heidi. Heidi steals my covers.
Really?
She steals my covers all
Not
the time.
even. That is so off base.
Actually, I think it's our dog stealing the covers from both of us. Mint Mobile question of the day. She's my wife, by the way. Mint Mobile question of the day comes your way, courtesy of Mintervention.com.
What could you do with an extra $129 a month? In this economy, every penny counts. So an extra $129 each month would absolutely help. Well, 97% of us have a cell phone, and the average person pays $144 a month. Mint Mobile can help you save a mint. At just $15 a month, that's an average savings of $129 each month. It's time for a Mintervention. Switch and save today. Get this special offer at Mintervention.com. That's Mintervention.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. This sounds like just an unbelievable story. A man crashed his car outside a Bass Pro Shop in Alabama. Then he stripped down to his birthday suit and he plunged into their giant aquarium in the store. This happened in front of
That's a heck of a day.
Yeah. Shocked shoppers in the town of Leeds near Birmingham. More than 40, it says there's more here. The 42-year-old man did a cannonball leap into the aquarium, then stood under a waterfall, and then left the water to yell at two officers, then dove back into the aquarium. He eventually climbed over the side and fell to the concrete floor where he was apprehended by police, and he faces several charges.
Huh.
What in the world was going on there? I'm assuming there were probably some drugs involved.
Most likely.
I don't know. Again, that doesn't make it right, but that just makes it at least a little more believable that that would happen. But is that odd? Mm-hmm. That seems odd. That's why it is today's Weird News, brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
John and Heidi.
Time now for the list, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. We've talked about the banish these words from the English language list, like we should no longer say these. Well, Wayne State University has a group called the Word Warriors, and they are wanting to resurrect these almost forgotten words for 2024.
Okay.
Like blatherskite. Blatherskite, a person who talks at great length without making a whole lot of sense. Why are you pointing at me? How about curlgaff? The shock felt when one plunges into cold water.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be bringing any of these.
Dollop. It's a shapeless mass or blob of something, especially soft food. Like a little dollop of daisy.
Yep.
Yeah, it was in a commercial. Kaffeeschlacht. An informal gathering at which coffee is served. I don't think we're going to probably use that one either. Pawky. Pawky. Having a mocking or cynical sense of humor.
Okay.
Pettifogger. An inferior legal practitioner, especially one who deals with petty cases and employs dubious practices. But it's kind of like the only attorney I could afford, maybe. What else do we have on here? I missed one. Petty richor. It is a pleasant smell that frequently accompanies the first rain after a long period of warm, dry weather.
I love that smell.
There's a few more on the list if you'd like to read them.
The only word I had ever heard of is dollop.
Yeah. There's also a twankle, thunder plump, and others if you'd like to read what they mean. They're in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf.
800-310-5831. 800-310-5831. That's 800-310-5831.
Time now for the quote of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. We might have had this quote recently because I remember saying Phyllis Diller.
We seem to get a lot of the same quotes over and over.
Hey, there's only so many quotes out there, Heidi.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean.
There's a lack of quotes?
There's a lack of quotes is what there is. We haven't hit our quote quota is what has happened here. Phyllis Diller has this quote. She says, never go to bed mad. Stay up and fight. I just love that.
That seems to work.
No, it doesn't. Don't go to bed mad. Don't stay up and fight. Stay up and make up. There we go. That's your quote of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com. And I think this is kind of a cool story. It comes from Cleveland, Ohio. Costco employees came together to rescue a colleague. Dedicated employees at a Costco hailed as heroes for the quick thinking compassion which saved the life of a fellow coworker.
Yikes.
So it unfolded one morning when this employee, they didn't put the employee's name in the story, failed to show up for work for a 5 a.m. shift. Concerned for their colleague, the manager, Jesse, decided to reach out and make sure everything was okay. It says, in situations where somebody might oversleep for the early shift, we usually give them a friendly wake-up call, check in to make sure they're on their way. However, this routine check-in took an unexpected turn. The employee answered the call, but his speech was incomprehensible and the connection was abruptly dropped.
Yikes.
Alarmed by this short, bizarre conversation, the David manager, Dave, decided, we're going to call and see what's going on. They called, and every time it became more apparent there was something wrong. Mumbling and groaning, and it was evident that this could be some sort of emergency. Well, events unfolded. It revealed the coworker was in the midst of a stroke.
Yikes.
And if it hadn't been for the quick-thinking colleagues, he probably wouldn't have made it. But they got emergency services on one line, and then they kept calling. Anyway, it turns out that this guy's life was saved because he was late for work.
Wow.
If he didn't have to work that day, he probably would have died.
Right, that is crazy.
But because he was late for work, they're like, what's going on? He's not usually late. And they called, and they got this little, slurring sound, and then he hung up.
That's crazy.
They say we take care of our members, but we also take care of our employees. They mean the world to us. How great is that?
That's fantastic.
I love that story. And I also really like that they didn't put the name in there of the person that was having the medical issue. Because, that person maybe doesn't want their name out there that they were having these issues. But I do like that the managers got a little bit of credit for what they did. So I've got a link to the story if you'd like to read it. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.